If you've created a really cool photograph for your social media or your business website, but you've got one or two flyaway hairs that are a little bit distracting, let me show you how you can fix this inside of Photoshop, even if you are a beginner. There are two main tools that we're going to be using here. The first is the Spot Heal tool. If you look at your toolbar, it's going to look like a Band-Aid with a couple little dots coming out of it. You're just going to grab that tool. You can toggle the size bigger or smaller with your bracket keys on your keyboard, and you're just going to go over the hair you want to remove with this. Now, anywhere it touches, it's going to remove it. But if you only touch certain places, it will not take the entire hair. So let me show you a little bit better here. You can see how it's removing part of it, but not all of it. So as you're doing this, you do not want to truncate those hairs. You're going to see some cut off a little bit weird. If it kind of looks more like this rather than just one stray hair, you're going to want to be careful of how you're doing this so that it does not look like you very clearly edited it. And you want to be mindful of how you are moving parts of this away. I want you to look at her hand real quick. The hand that's up in the air, you're going to see there's one stray hair that kind of goes over her thumb. That might be something that I would choose to remove as a professional photographer. So I'm just going to make my Spot Heal tool a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to go over those lines because it looks like it was out of place because it blended in with the clouds. Now you can see how I removed that. I'm just going to go in and retouch that a little bit further. That one hair is now no longer distracting in this image. This particular image definitely needs the flyaway hairs. It is part of the image, but for you, it might be a little bit different. Now that I told you there was a second tool that you could potentially be using as well, you're going to go over to your toolbar and you're going to click down to your clone tool. This particular tool looks like a rubber stamp. You're just going to click on it, and then you're going to go up to opacity. You are going to change your opacity from 100% to around 28%. Anywhere in that couple of degrees within that 28% is going to be fine for you, and you're going to slowly start to remove this. Now with this, you're going to hold your Option key down and select an area that is not the flyaway hair. It is part of the surrounding area. In this case, it's going to be the clouds. So I'm going to pick part of the clouds, and then I'm just going to start going over this, and you can see how I'm very easily just removing parts of the hair inside of this image. And this works really well if you want to tame down the flyaways but not entirely remove them. Or if it's going to be something like this, where we very clearly have a lot of flyaway hairs and we don't want to truncate it to make it look like it was very clearly edited. So you're going to have to do a little bit more work on this part, and it's just going to be a faded effect. You're going to be able to brush in and out. Anytime you need to pick up a new sample, you're just going to hold that Option key down again, and you're going to be able to blend it in. Now, this was a very easy clone for me because it's a white-based background. It's pretty solid. You can see there's some gray tones in there. It's very easy for me to do that. If it's a busy background, you're probably not going to be able to do this quite as well. And if you do, you're going to have to take a lot of different samples for the clone to then use. So this is a great way to tame those frizzy hairs down, to be able to remove some of those flyaways, and it's very beginner friendly for you to do, even if you're just starting. Now, if you have something in your photos where you need a little bit of help retouching, I've been a professional photographer for many, many years, and I've been a professional designer for even longer. So drop your questions down below. I'll show you tools and resources that even beginners can use to retouch their images, things that are not normally there in their images, like a blemish on your face or those random flyaway hairs, things that are not naturally a part of us that we want to retouch just a little bit before we are putting these things out on social media. And hit the subscribe and notification bell, because every single day we're dropping tutorials just like this to help you level up on social media in TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, live streaming, and with the tools and resources you need to make more money online but spend less time doing it. I'll see you in the next episode.